beautiful, beloved souls. Thanks for being here for another episode of Water Rising. So our teaching today is a little more potent and poignant given the times that we are in, and it is inspired by a conversation I was having with someone that is very dear to me. And we were talking about how at the moment it feels very activating in our lives about our inner child, right? And I know a lot of you listening and watching have done inner child work, and you have cultivated a relationship with this younger part of you. And as you know, it is so rewarding and so enriching. And specifically today, what we are looking at is how our nervous systems are currently activated, because I know this is true for so many of you, and how this relates to your inner child. And it's kind of taking a different perspective on things. It's not a conversation that I hear spoken about much, which is why I want to bring it here today. Because in our current model of the healing world and in doing inner child work, the lens is very much placed on the self, right? It's your inner child, and it's your trauma, and it's your events that happen to you, and your memories, and your feelings, and your emotions. And this is a very valid part. It's a very necessary part to comb through, a necessary part to explore. And then there comes a point, right, when you start to feel like my little girl, my little boy is very integrated. I've done so much with them. Why am I still feeling the way that I'm feeling? Why am I still trapped in these memories? Why am I still in these emotions that just don't seem to make sense? Like, am I at another layer? Is this ancestral? Like, what is going on, right? We've done enough to know that there's something else happening. And so this is the conversation today. Because in my experience, in my journey, in the work I do, what I see and what I have explored is we are all human beings, right? Living on a planet together. And interconnection weaves us all together. We're all connected to the trees, to the animals, to the birds, to the butterflies, to the plants. Interconnection, right? Like in the spiritual world, there's a lot of talk about oneness. There's a lot of talk about bliss and feeling happy and being connected to everything. And oh, it's so amazing and I love it. Yes. And we live in a world where this is only half of the experience. If we're interconnected in love and all the good feelings, where's the conversation that says we're interconnected in all the horrible things that are happening too, right? What about the kids right now that are struggling? The ones that are being deported, that are being kept from their parents, the ones that end up suffering more abuse because adults are going through mental health crisis. Of course, that's going to filter down to their kids. Like it just is part of it, right? It is so sad. And yet this happens in our world. But yet there is no narrative or conversation that says we're feeling that also, right? We're all interconnected. If we can all feel the oneness of love, of course we can feel the oneness of pain. Of course we can feel the oneness of struggle, of people that are not doing well in the world right now. So when we are feeling activated and we're feeling anxious and we feel like, hey, this is my inner child, something's going on with him or her. Invitation to really recognize that what's happening and why you're activated in this way is because there is an incredible amount of activation in children right now in the world. If we think about war, if we think about all the places that children are hurting, then this gives us a much bigger canvas, right? A much bigger area to look at and really understand what is going on in your own field, in your own system, in your own body. And yes, this can feel heavy. And the way I view it is it's freeing, because now I can do something about it, right? Now I can work with tools that get me, well, not get me, but help us all, right? That right there is the crux, get me. In this place, we can't say get me because it's not me, it's you, and it's everybody in interconnectedness. And so when you're feeling into your nervous system, and when you feel that activation and you feel that anxiety, there's a place here where you can work in the we, where you can really be with oneness in a healing way, in a way that makes a difference, in a way that changes something in your energetic architecture. Because you are not just doing healing work for you, you are now doing healing work on behalf of the planet, on behalf of, Mama Earth and the divine feminine and the divine masculine. You are now partnering with forces greater than yourself to do bigger work. Because if we stay just in the lens of me, we perpetuate separateness. We perpetuate this idea that we're all alone and that we are disconnected and that we are separate. Yet when we remember to partner with these bigger forces of life energy on our planet, and we work in devotion to a bigger picture and a bigger scale and a larger view of humanity, now we can really do something. We can change something for ourselves and for others, right? Our healing journey now starts to thread through our family lines. It starts to thread into the divine feminine. It starts to meld with the divine masculine. And we start to be able to support ourselves and others in a bigger divine plan. So the same work that you do when it's personal, you can do this for the bigger collective, right? You just adjust your tools. You include everything. And invitation even to take it deeper. It's not just baby girls and baby boys, but what if it was baby butterflies and baby birds and baby dogs and puppies and kittens, right? Baby plants, baby trees, baby water droplets, baby rivers. What if it was everything, right? Because the divine feminine doesn't just flow through humans. The divine masculine isn't only for men. These life force divine energies are for the entire planet. And they flow through every living thing, feminine and masculine. And they bring this for us. And this is what we are healing. This is what we're recreating. This is what we're restructuring, right? It's the actual thread of the feminine through all of life, and the actual thread of the masculine through all of life. Part of what has happened, because humans have become so evolved, we fall into the trap of thinking that we are the most important things on the planet, that we are the most intelligent. Yet, it takes an incredible amount of intelligence to grow a giant tree from a tiny seed. The level of intelligence that goes into that act is astounding. And the level of intelligence, right, of so many species on this planet, we undermine it. We don't have a conversation or a structure that holds the sacredness of the intelligence of life. And this is where we need to go, right, for true healing. It's the healing in all of us of the remembering of how sacred life is and how everything is interwoven together in order for us to be here. And yes, we are important, right? I'm not negating that or taking that away or anything. I love being in a human body, in a human form, experiencing life this way. Like, it's super challenging and yet super incredible and amazing at the same time, right? Both things exist. And when I think about trees, which, you know, I talk about trees, I love trees, I have a special relationship with trees. If there were no trees, who would make the air for us to breathe? Like, how am I more important than the tree that allows me to exist? Because we are in this relationship with trees where we give them what they need and then they give us what we need, so we can both live side by side. But imagine if, like, if I think I'm more important than any of that, and then there's no trees. Like, how important am I then? Am I even alive? I don't know. We'd have to evolve to something else, right? And who knows how long that would take. So when we're looking at this, right? Like, when you're thinking into these feelings that are here, right? We can't deny them. We do a lot of things to try to either suppress them, run away from them, hide them, ignore them, numb away from them. But we can't all the time. Like, they're here. And my invitation again here, lots of invitations today. My invitation today is to really let you show up for what is uncomfortable. Because underneath that uncomfortableness is freedom. There is a greater truth, a deeper truth. There's something that you can find that then you can connect in with, right? And if you let yourself be face to face with this anxious feeling or this sinking feeling or the heavy feeling or the overwhelmed feeling, right? Those are a lot of the ones that I hear about at the moment. If you let yourself be with it and then lean into this bigger picture, right? Recognize that all the children on the planet right now are struggling in this bigger way, right? Even if our children, our individual personal children, are walking through the world in a way that is supportive of them right now, that doesn't mean that all children are, right? And that doesn't mean that our children aren't feeling those other children as well. And this is really creating these feelings, these emotions in us. And when we can sit with them, when we can be uncomfortable, and when we can think about them from a bigger perspective, and then use our tools in that bigger frame, as opposed to just me, my inner child, or my, real life physical child that I grew, or parent. We can have this bigger perspective. We can do something different because we can look at it through a different lens, it's an empowering lens, right? It takes you out of what's wrong with me and into what's right about what I know and how I can move through this and how I can actually do something about this that serves all of the planet and all of the children. So I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to support you in this. I know it's a big topic. It's a more a heart topic, right? Like, it really is hard when we think about those bigger things and situations that are happening on our planet. So I'm here in support of you and your journey, and I love you.